What's up? This is Patrick. Welcome to episode 40 of the Double ETF podcast, Everything Except the Football. I hope you guys are doing great. We are back after a longish break, some might say. Things got a little bit busy, but now it's a little bit more under control. So today we are doing a what we watched kind of thing. Me, John Mutford, and Nick Bambach. It was a lot of fun, but you will notice, and I will come clean on this one, recording day had been a little bit of a rough one, and I had a few tasty beverages before recording. I like to think that it doesn't show too much, but it does at some points, but I don't think it will stop you from enjoying this conversation, hopefully. And that's not going to happen again, by the way, so don't worry about that. That's it. If you want to join us, you can do so at EETFpod on Twitter or EETFpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to contribute, you can drop us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Or, and this is still valid, you can join the Awesome Club at paypal.me/EETFpod. You know who you are. Whoever donated, thank you again. That's it for now. We will be back sooner than last time. And I hope you guys enjoy this conversation with John Mutford and Nick Bambach. Have a good one, and we will talk again soon. Thanks. All right, so welcome back after a longish break, about 2 months. Apologies, but I guess it was needed. So back with us. We got flashbacks from the last episodes from the Oscars preview. It is awesome to have you guys back. Unfortunately, Josh is missing, but we do have John Mutford back with us. Hello, John. How are you?
Hi, Patrick. Thanks for having me back.
Awesome. And we have Nick Bambach back with us. How are you, Nick?
I'm doing well. How are you, Patrick?
You know, I've turned into an old man during my break. So,
it's been two months, Patrick, not 2 decades. Come on.
Yes. Apparently, I mean, as I've been told by a couple of friends, 50 is the new 40. So maybe I shouldn't feel that down. But, you know, maybe it is something for another podcast or another episode, maybe.
It's just a number. You're youthful at heart.
That's how I feel. Age ain't nothing but a number.
Thank you. We are glad to have you with us again. Welcome back after this short break. So last episode was an Oscars preview. This episode is most about what we've watched lately. Why don't we start with TV series? We can go with John, with Nick, with myself, and we will, each of us in turn, mention one series that we liked especially. All right. How about that?
Nice save.
Jesus. Yes.
Good save.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll blame that on the language barrier. Okay. So John, why don't you tell us about your first TV series?
Okay. My first, I'm going to go with Severance. Severance is a drama. It has some funny moments, a bit of sci-fi, and it's on Apple TV. It's all about keeping your home life and your work life separate. And they do this with a surgery in your brain. So you don't remember anything that your work life does, and your work life has no knowledge of their home life. And so it sounds like it could be a good idea to maybe if you weren't enjoying your job, you'd want to forget about it. But it's really dystopian, and it feels like a Black Mirror episode extended. It stars Adam Scott, who was on Parks and Rec and a few other shows. Patricia Arquette is in it. John Turturro, Christopher Walken. Great cast, great writing, and the look of the thing is amazing. I can't wait for season 2. It's I recommend it to everybody I meet. Have you seen Severance yet? You got to watch it.
Christopher Walken is in that?
Yes, he's in a couple new ones.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard he appears in everything.
Yes.
Yes. Very interesting character, I would say, in there too.
What struck me about that is that Ben Stiller directs a lot of the episodes, right?
He does, and I could be wrong, but I think he writes some of them too. But he definitely directs a lot of them, most of them.
Because I think he's pretty underrated as a director writer. Like, for all the comedy movies that he does, I think he's pretty interesting, some of the projects he's done behind the camera.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go into, like I say, there are some funny moments. I wouldn't go into it expecting a comedy, and nor can I see his fingerprints over this at all.
You mentioned Black Mirror. I think it's exactly the right tone.
Yes, yeah, that is definitely the tone of it. And yeah, you start trying to figure out what's going on, and just when you think something, you have it figured out, something new will pop up, and you're like, oh, I didn't consider that angle before. So it's got everything. It's so good.
And the first season is done right now.
It is.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so it is on Apple Plus, I think.
It's on Apple, yes.
Okay, so yep, check that out. And it's been on my list, to be honest. So yep, I'll check that out soon. So
love to hear your thoughts afterwards.
Awesome. All right, Nick, what do you have?
Okay, so I've been rewatching Barry on HBO Max, and I think that is one of the best comedies, not only going on right now, but probably in the last decade or so. It's such a dark show in so many ways, but it's just so brilliantly written and acted, and it's just an incredible show on so many levels. I love its unpredictability, really. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen with these characters and the situations they get thrown in. And yeah, like Henry Winkler and of course Bill Hader, they're just incredible in their roles. But I don't know, like it's one of the few shows I actually watch the day it airs, around the time that it airs, because it's just, I gotta know what happens.
If I could make a parallel to that series, it would be Patriot on Amazon. It is not quite the same, but almost. And I would recommend both. But yeah, Barry has more budget, obviously. But yeah, it is really, really good.
So, Patrick, have you seen the third season
of Barry? Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I've been I saw the last episode like yesterday.
I haven't been able to access it yet, so I'm looking forward to it. But
we can talk about that off air. Tactically acquiring stuff. No problem. No problem at all. Okay, so if I could throw my hat in the ring, I would add Slow Horses. I think it is on Apple TV Plus. It is an espionage series with Gary Oldman and a few other actors that you probably know. It is inspired from a book. Gary Oldman, steals every scene he is in. Check it out. It is espionage like MI5, MI6, but there is a touch of an old, maybe John le Carré vibe to it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Gary Oldman steals every scene. It is so awesome. If you have a chance to watch the trailer to that series, Slow Horses, it is fantastic.
He's an amazing actor anyway, so I love that. But I had to say, I'm glad you sold me on it, because if I heard the title Slow Horses, I probably wouldn't watch it. I've never seen a horse movie that I like. Then you throw the word slow in front of it. Yeah. It just seems like the most boring thing ever. But
that's a good point. War horse,
right?
Sucks. But
Secretariat snore.
It's a snooze. Yeah, skip it. But I think Slow Horses is the first season, but I think from the books, I think the second season could be called Dead Lions.
So it's based on books, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who the author is?
I don't. I should know this. I should.
You knew the librarian was going to ask you that.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
Isn't it Mick Herron?
Mick Herron? Okay.
John, do you have something?
For another TV show, I'm going to go with the new season of Kids in the Hall. And I'm going to say I binged this. So I was sick with COVID a couple of weeks back, and so I was isolating for a week. and so excited to watch Kids in the Hall. And it didn't even last me the day because I just binged the whole thing. It was so funny. And I don't know if you're a fan of Kids in the Hall in the Day, but they brought it all back. And I don't mean they brought back their old characters. They brought back a couple, but they just brought back their sort of punk edge to their comedy. And right from the very first episode, when you get a full frontal, you're thinking these guys have no shame at all. And I was nervous because sometimes people lose their touch, right? And I've seen them in a movie. They were in. They did a short series on CBC after the show came off the air called Death Comes to Town, and I really didn't like it. And I thought, oh, they've lost their touch. But the new season of Kids in the Hall is just so good. It's so good.
What was the main difference between Death Comes to Town and this new season?
Death Comes to Town, they tried to do like a murder mystery show where they played all the characters in it, but they're more sketch comedians, right? To me. Mm-hmm. So to extend that over 8 episode or however many episodes were in that series, it didn't work. But the sketch comedy is it's their jam. They're so good.
Awesome. And this is on Amazon, I think, right?
It is, yes. Which probably gave them a little bit more freedom, although CBC let them get away with a lot too back in the day. But yeah, they're definitely pushing some boundaries.
Yeah, hopefully they are available on Amazon.com as well in the US, I suppose.
I have friends in the US who have been watching them, so
okay, good. Good, awesome. Perfect. Okay, so Nick, what do you have?
I am watching season 2 of Hacks, which is on HBO Max. I think it's also, this is again like Barry. I went in with like little to no expectations, and then I was blown away. Really, not by the writing as much, but by the acting. And Gene Smart is incredible in that starring role. And I love that this season of Hacks focuses more like on a road trip or like a road movie kind of scenario, because like the main character that Gene Smart plays, she goes on the road for the first time in many, many years. So you kind of like see her journey going to different towns and cities, because on the show, she was a staple on the Vegas Strip as like a comedy act, like a legacy comedian. And then when it dries up her run, she kind of realizes, oh, I got to go on the road to make money and to stay relevant. But this season, it's really fun. It's like it's a lot like looser, but it's like fun. It's a great show.
Okay. All right, Hacks. I've heard about the first season, and I've heard really good things about it. Okay, maybe a dumb question, but if someone jumps into the second season, is he or she going to feel completely lost, or?
No, not really. I mean, it helps if you start from the beginning to understand like these characters' journeys, because like the other main female character, Ava, she is like this like comedian writer who kind of like no spoilers, but she does something that kind of gets her blacklisted from the industry, and then she's forced to work with the Deborah Gene Smart character because she has no other options. So it helps if you want to know these characters' journeys, but if you jump right into season 2, I don't think it's the end of the world either.
Okay.
That's the plus side about comedies.
Yes. Yes. All right. Okay. So, myself, I would say something worth watching, but I don't think I could call it like an absolute must, is Tokyo Vice. Yeah. Tokyo Vice. It starts, oh God, I always get his name wrong. Ansel Elgort. God, yeah, Mickey, apologies to Ansel Elgort.
Never apologize for him. He's a terrible person.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
He's kind of a sex pest.
He's been accused of sexual misconduct by, I think, multiple women at this point.
Oh, wow. No, I don't know him at all.
And it involves underage girls, so you know.
Okay, I didn't know that part. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Way to go, Patrick. Holy cow.
Yes.
God damn it, Patrick.
Oh, yeah. I know how to focus on the wrong parts for sure. But yeah, Tokyo Vice is I think one of the executive producers is Michael Mann, and I think he might have directed the first episode or maybe the first 2 episodes. It's worth watching, definitely. Yes.
Michael Mann is one of my favorite directors. So when I saw his name attached, I was like, I will definitely watch this at some point.
Yes.
Even if it has Ansel, because, Ansel's a little, But, Michael Mann's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I started watching. And yeah.
Would you say, Patrick, that it's like a neo-noir like style that kind of Michael Mann is known for? Like those crime... like aesthetic?
I wouldn't say that because there is still too much of Japanese culture that we don't know about. Yeah, it's really hard to do a noir in Japan if you're not Japanese, honestly.
That's true.
Because there are a couple of, and I'm glad you're mentioning that because there are a couple of noir Japanese movies.
Oh, there's an entire like movement in Japanese film history that's just noir, like in the late 60s and then the revival like in the 80s and 90s.
Yes. And it's fascinating that it's been so long ago. I mean, I wouldn't mind if there was a revival on that, but that's once people are done making Marvel movies, they can maybe move to Japanese noir. Maybe someday. But okay, so moving on. John.
Well, I'm glad you came to me next because you just had the perfect segue. So my next show is a Marvel show.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
From Marvel Studios. So yeah, maybe you're sick of them. I don't know. But the Moon Knight TV show on Disney Plus with Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke. I really loved it.
Wow.
I know it's not for everybody. It's probably one of the hardest to follow shows they've had. But that's, to me, part of the appeal of the character is he's got split personalities and you don't know what's really happened or not. And a lot of it is trying to figure out what's true and what isn't. So that, I think, left a few people cold, but I thought it was amazing. And Oscar Isaac is just one of the best actors ever. I'm such a fan. And did you disagree with me there, Patrick?
No, it was on my list, but the source I got it from was lukewarm at best about it.
Right.
So I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I would say if you appreciate acting, you would appreciate Oscar Isaac in it, regardless if you get totally wrapped up in the story. Okay. But yeah, the story can be a bit confusing. So I can see people being lukewarm towards it. I personally thought it was great. But.
What about, we cannot, I guess nowadays we cannot, for TV series, we cannot expect like top-notch special effects, but how were they in this series?
Probably pretty good for TV. And the action sequences were good. Now, a couple times they cut away because he sort of blacks out when a new personality comes on. So maybe some people thought they cheated a little bit there by not showing. They would often show the aftermath and not what actually happened. So some people maybe thought they cheated on that. But no, I think the effects were really good.
All right. Okay. It was on my list, to be honest, but I'll
And I think some people too who were big Marvel fans wanted more of a tie-in with the bigger Marvel universe, and there was none the entire series wide. So, and I don't know if it'll come eventually. I'm sure they seem to set it up for a second season or maybe a movie. So maybe then they'll connect some dots with other characters, but it was completely standalone.
I didn't know that. Okay. There is no connection at all.
Barely even reference any other events that happened in other movies. Yeah.
That's so interesting because they're so multi-layered and so intertwined, like all the movies.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Honestly, that's, I respect that.
Yeah. I think because Marvel sort of set it up maybe as this is what we're doing now. It's all connected. So maybe some people were disappointed for that. But yeah, it could be also a good thing, right?
All right. Okay. Nick, what do you have next?
I have watched Dope Sick that's on Hulu, and I enjoyed this miniseries. Have you guys watched that miniseries?
I've heard about it.
I have not. I've heard it, and that's it.
It's about the opioid crisis in America. So you see three different sides of the issue. You see the lawyers' side. You see the family who has the distribution and makes these opioids, and then the everyday people in the Appalachian Mountains that are being affected by the drugs. So you see three different sides of how the opioid crisis, which started, at least in this story, started like in the mid to late 90s and goes into like, I would say like the early to mid 2000s, like over a 10-year period, give or take, that you get to see these stories. It was based on a book, and I will say it was really good. The performances, especially from Michael Keaton and Rosario Dawson, they're excellent in their roles. I found the nonlinear approach very confusing though at times, because in like one like episode, it'll cut back like 20 different times, because they'll do like well, not 20, I'm being exaggerated, like 10, but still it's a lot. But it'll go from like the lawyers in 1997, or no, I'm sorry, like the family in 1997, and then it'll go to like
1897.
Yeah, I don't know what century we're in anymore, people. Like my brain is fried.
It's like
it goes from like the lawyers,
the gold rush.
It goes from like the lawyers in like 2003, and then it goes back to like the family making the drug in like 1995, then the effects of like the people who get it in 1998. And it just does that a lot. So the time is very confusing in how it presents the story. Like, it's very fascinating, and it's super depressing, by the way. Like, you will need a shower, you will need a beer or something, just not drugs. But but it was really, it's really an interesting miniseries that I recommend. But it's one of those I don't think you could binge watch, and I did that because, well, I run a TV club that's every month, and I kind of had to cram it in for reasons I won't state. And I watched it over like basically an entire day, and it's 8 full episodes, at least an hour. So it was like 9 hours. And let's just say I needed to watch comedies the next day because it was so depressing, but it was really
You're
excellent.
suicidal, man.
I know. It's like, it was crazy. Like, I don't think I will ever do that again, but it's a good show in moderation. If you would do like an episode a day, but not quite a binge watch kind of show. So it's kind of, how do I want to say it? Like, it's almost like David Fincher meets like in terms of nonlinear storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
like the nonlinear. It's almost like Fincher meets, I don't know, like Michael Clayton. It's a very unique show for what it does, but I'm sort of like mixed about some of the aspects of it, but the performances are incredible, and it's just really sad, and I'm glad it shed some light on a really important issue that affects many people across not only America but around the world, and it's still a problem. So I'm grateful for the show doing that, but yeah, you need a shower afterwards.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn to recommend a TV series. I will say We Own This City from David Simon, the creator of The Wire. It is on HBO Max. The only actor that we know of is John Bernthal.
Oh, he's good. Yeah.
The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Punisher,
Yeah.
too.
Exactly. Yes, Punisher. Yeah. What I like is the low key approach. Like, it's not like, like every scene is like a, can I say, like a big cliffhanger or something? People just say their stuff, and there is no massive catchphrases a la Aaron Sorkin, for example. No, it's like super low key. I like that. And yeah, it is so good.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. Like, it's been on my to watch list and was announced. I was like, oh my God.
So yeah, We Own This City. Please, guys, watch it. It's awesome. All right. So, okay. So TV, you have more TV, guys?
No.
Okay. Perfect. Good timing. So we can switch to movies. John, what do you have for movies?
Okay, I'm going to get the Marvel one out of the way again, and I'm going to say Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Really love this movie. It was so much fun. So glad to see Sam Raimi back behind the camera. And it's really interesting because there's a lot of horror elements in the movie. And I've heard that, well, he didn't write the script. The script was written when they knew he was coming on board. So they amped up the horror a little bit in there. And I watched another movie shortly after called Coherence, which is also about a multi-universe sort of idea. But that one was billed as a horror, and I didn't find that one as scary as Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, is great as Doctor Strange, but Elizabeth Olsen sort of steals the show. She's one of the best villains that I think Marvel has had. And sorry if I blew it that she's a villain in the movie. But there's a lot of stuff that got leaked out, but it's still, and I knew a lot of the things that got leaked beforehand, but there were still some surprises, and yeah, it was wonderful. It was a lot of fun.
If I kind of checked out after Endgame, would I be interested in this movie?
I think so. That's hard to say. I think it would help if you had watched the WandaVision show, but I don't think necessary. And it's not even necessary would I think that you had seen the first Doctor Strange movie. I did. You did, yeah. But I don't think they're very linked, to be perfectly honest. Okay. Did you see the Spider-Man Far From Home?
One? No, okay. I'm all checked out on Spider-Man.
Right, okay, because it's sort of, to me, if you like that one, you would like this one. But you might be, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to win you back to Marvel. I always say that. It's very Marvel. But I think you'll find it fun, even if it's, you'll forget about it a week later. But you'll find it fun while you're there, I'm sure.
It is a Marvel movie after all. So.
Yeah. And it's
forgetting might be part of a package from now on. With phase, what is this? Phase 3 now or phase 4?
5, I think they're in right now.
5, Jesus. Okay, I'll stop. Okay.
But that's my last Marvel film, I promise.
Okay, no problem.
How marvelous.
Yes.
Until the next time you have me back, of course.
Yeah, no, please. I mean, how can I say? Marvel or not, you are always welcome back.
Thanks.
Yes,
I only come on when Mutford's on because
All right, so Nick, what do you have?
I saw The Lost City a few weeks ago in theaters, and that's with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock. I really liked it. It was a good popcorn movie. It's essentially a remake in many ways of Romance in the Stone, that movie from the 80s with Michael Douglas. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. It was very funny, and it had really good chemistry, Bullock and Tatum. And it's really weird. Now that I'm thinking in my head, the last 2 movies in theaters that I saw had Channing Tatum in it, because I saw Dog the month before, which was really good too. That was actually really good. That one I was not expecting much from it, but that was really good. So
can you tell us a little bit more about that one?
Oh, Dog? Yeah. So
please.
He plays I don't know if it's an Army or Marine offhand, but he's in the military, and then he basically, one of his brothers or in arms, like or his fellow soldiers, dies, and he's driving to the funeral, but with the military orders, because he was kind of not disowned, but something happened in the movie, which I won't say, that causes him to not be in the military anymore. A way to get back into their good graces is for him to transport the fallen soldier's dog from, I think it's Washington or Oregon to, I believe, Arizona. So it's kind of like a road movie that with Channing Tatum and the dog, and it was very cute. It was a good buddy movie, and I enjoyed it way more. But then it gets kind of sad towards the end, with how I just described it. But I thought it was a good, nice little movie to just watch on a Sunday afternoon.
There was a similar movie with, I think, Woody Harrelson and maybe Ben Foster called The Messenger.
Yes, that was a great movie.
Yes. Okay. Same concept.
But Dog is like way more like a comedy and way lighthearted, and like The Messenger is like a very like dark movie.
Yes.
But like Chan Tam's very charming in these two movies, and I think he's kind of underrated in many ways. It's like his like star persona and just him being on screen. Like he's not much of an actor per se, but he makes up for it with his like charm and his just demeanor. And yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it. And he had a movie with a dog and it worked somehow. So, but The Lost City was also excellent as well. Well, not excellent. I'm kind of like really over praising it. It was really good. It was like a good popcorn movie. You don't have to think. And I like those kind of movies.
The trailer made it look awesome. And after the release, it kind of died out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I thought it was a big hit.
Maybe it was, but I don't know. I like. I'm in my ivory tower, I guess. But I didn't. I don't know. I didn't hear that much about it afterwards.
It's still playing at the local theater by me. It's been out for over 2 months at least.
Yeah, I'm with Patrick though. I think it faded more out of public consciousness in Canada, at least. Anyway.
So are you saying it got lost, Patrick?
Yes. It got lost across the border. Yes, exactly.
But it's a good mainstream comedy, though. Like, I think that's something that I miss in like movies in general, like how they had like mainstream comedies. And it feels like a lot of the best comedies, because I studied them in college, they tend to go more indie, it seems, in the last 10 years or so. And I think this kind of was refreshing because you see like a Paramount Pictures comedy and it's actually not horseshit.
Right.
Like it's actually pretty,
hopefully
it's actually pretty good. So, but yeah, and it had like Daniel Radcliffe in it and Brad Pitt and quite a few famous people. So I recommend it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it still in theaters or can we get it on streaming somehow?
It's on Paramount Plus, I believe, because they have that partnership because it's a Paramount Pictures movie. But it's still playing in theaters because it's still playing at like 2 or 3 near me.
Okay. All right.
So
one movie I'll mention is, I got a few actually. The Northman.
Oh, I want to see that, Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah. The Robert Eggers movie. He made The Witch and The Lighthouse and something else I forgot, but I saw it and I'll admit, like I was super tired when I watched it, so maybe I kind of spaced out in a few parts, but the visuals are amazing and it's absolutely worth seeing, I think, honestly.
And Bjork is in it.
That's what I was going to say. That's the biggest selling point is freaking Bjork.
Yeah, but like if you're gonna, no spoilers, but if you want to see it just for that reason, you're not gonna get much.
No,
money.
I didn't think she had much screen time.
Yeah, it's like she's there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I want to see it for other reasons too, but that's certainly a selling point.
Yeah.
for
But
now I'm not seeing this movie.
Yeah, fuck this. Fuck this. I'm out.
Yeah,
but no, yeah, it's really good. It is not for everyone, of course.
Oh no, his movies are not.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there are some, grisly action scenes, but not that many. I think I expected more, but that's okay. It is a ride and it's worth it.
Yeah, good.
I think so. Yeah, honestly.
Wanted to see it, and it played for 1 week at the 2 theaters near me and then disappeared. And I was just like, they can't handle Bjork in a movie, I guess. Because, But I was so sad because I really wanted to see that. I heard like some pretty good things about it from friends.
John, what do you have?
Okay, next movie I'll do is X, another movie from A24 Studios. So I'm on the fence a little bit with their horror movies, or I have been. I think they like to sort of promote themselves as a more highbrow horror or
art house.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed them okay, like Heredity and Midsommar. I mean, and to look at them, they're always good. The acting is good, but as a horror movie, I've always thought they felt fell a little flat. I've enjoyed them, just not to the reputation that they have. So X comes from them, and it's probably one of the ones I like most from them. It's because it's follows more of a slasher sort of feel to it, and the premise is that they're shooting a porn in a barn that they're renting from this old couple, and the old couple aren't aware of why they're renting the barn, so they're shooting this porno in there. But then, of course, it's a horror movie, so things start to go wrong. So lots of great acting, good premise, and looks good. I will say, at times I thought maybe they were a little bit mean towards old people. Just the way they're portrayed, and if you've seen the movie, you would know what I'm referring to there.
I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of old people are gross sort of messaging in the subtext, I think. Gross and scary.
Wait, they're not?
Well, well, these were, but yeah, it's still a totally fine, good horror movie. There's nobody really famous in it that I recognize. The main girl is Mia Goth, and they're doing a sequel where she's in it as a different character. Now, she plays two characters in X as well. She plays a younger version, but she's also playing the old lady in it.
Oh wow! So like a caked on old
and I will say
makeup.
it didn't always sell me that she was actually old. I didn't know it was the same actress. They did disguise her enough for that, but I could still tell it was a younger person playing her. And I don't know if you ever saw the series on Netflix called Midnight Mass.
I've known of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, but likewise, that's a horror. Great movie, but there's an older character played by somebody who's, I'm guessing, in their 20s, supposed to be 70 or something. And I never bought it, and it sort of takes you out of it at those moments, right? But in the prequel she's playing is the story of the old lady. So in her younger years, they're saying how she got there. So I guess that's why they chose her for this role. They must have liked her acting and thought, okay, she'll be young in the what's the word I'm looking for? The
prequel?
Yes.
Yeah. Prequel? Yes. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. No, yeah, okay. The thing I was trying to think of, when you mentioned A24 horror, you guys remember the movie Green Room?
Yes, with Patrick Stewart.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just throwing that out there as a recommendation. If you have the chance,
it's a good
one. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I forgot that was A24, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so Green Room with Professor X.
Yeah.
Professor Xavier. Yeah, that's exactly.
Not X the band.
No.
Because that's when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, they made like an X biopic, and then I'm like, no.
Or X the movie. Yeah, it's not Professor X the movie. Yeah, that would be messed up.
Right.
Okay, so Nick, do you have a movie for us?
Ironically, my next movie was an A24 movie about pornography too, and that's Red Rocket.
That was A24 as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sean Baker directed that one. I think maybe his first one, or he's done, I think, maybe one other A24 movie. That was a really good movie, and it's weird because like the movie poster, it looks like a comedy. Like, are you guys familiar with what the poster looks like? It's him naked, and he's holding his
Red Rocket
privates, and it's like a donut
junk,
shaped, like his junk with a donut cover in it. But it looks like a comedy, and there are funny moments, but it's a very like dark, serious movie too. And it's about a porn star who comes from a Texas town. He goes to LA in like the early 2000s. He has a successful career. He, for one reason or another, he leaves LA, comes back to his small Texas town in 2016 with the presidential election coming around the corner, and he's just navigating through life, trying at some point to get back to LA to revise his porn career. It's, I think, one of the most important movies of last year that I've seen. It's just a movie that says a lot about the state of American politics and religion and culture and our values, and it's an incredible movie. And I think Sean Baker, who did Tangerine and The Florida Project, he's just one of the great filmmakers that's currently working in Hollywood. And if you follow Letterboxd, give him a follow or follow him, because he writes really funny reviews, and I just really think he's a unique voice in contemporary American cinema.
All right.
And the guy who's the lead actor, Simon Rex, he was an MTV VJ for listeners. So he's really great in the role too. And I think hopefully we'll see him in more lead-in roles, because he really knocked it out of the park with this movie.
All right. Okay. So, quickly, if we want to wind up with some trailers that got your attention, do you have anything in mind, John?
We're talking about upcoming movies we want to see because of the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say Jordan Peele's Nope. I really want to see that. Nope is just, to me, a funny name for a movie anyway. But the aesthetics of the movie look like it's going to be great. And he's never done a boring movie. I like Get Out more than I did Us. Mm-hmm. But they're never boring. They're always interesting. And a great cast looks like in Nope. And it just seems like they really knew how in this trailer to set a mystery of what in the hell is going on in this movie. I have no idea what kind of horror is, if it's aliens, if it's something supernatural, or what it is, but it looks amazing.
All right.
Can't wait.
Nick, what do you have in mind?
Elvis, the Buzz Luhrmann biopic that's coming out in June. Okay, so I love Elvis, so I'm probably biased, but it looks incredible. And he's a very dicey filmmaker because of his aesthetics, and it's very polarizing. But I just thought that the trailer for that looked phenomenal. And Tom Hanks as Colonel Parker, come on, like, you have to watch just for that. Just to see what that is. I'm
going to be watching the trailer when we get out. I knew this movie was coming out, and I love Baz Luhrmann, but I had no idea the trailer was out. So,
oh yeah, I can't remember. It just came online this week, maybe, or last week.
Okay, I got to look for it.
All right. Okay, so yeah, do we have any movies we want to talk about?
Okay, one I have to mention, because I'm just so excited about it, was the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. So I know you guys are probably like, oh my God, why is he mentioning this? But I really enjoyed it, and I'll tell you a really funny story real quick. So I had to get Hulu to watch Dope Sick for the TV club I host, and then I saw, because they had like a deal where it was like $1 for 3 months or whatever, and I wanted to watch Chip and Dale, and it's on Disney Plus. Now, Disney Plus, I refused to get for the longest time, because I was like, I'm not supporting Disney. But then Chip and Dale were like among my favorite things in my childhood, like their cartoon. So they had a deal where it was $2.99 a month if you add on to Hulu. I don't know if that's like forever, but that was like the only reason why I got it, was to watch that movie. But it was like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So if you really like that kind of meta humor and the live action and animated combination, it's an incredible movie. And Andy Samberg and John Mulaney, they're brilliantly funny as always, but oh my God, in this movie, they're so good. That movie's been popping up on my timeline in Twitter all week because of the ugly Sonic cameo. Tim Robinson plays
really,
who is like amazing. Yeah, it's so funny how they handle it because of that whole controversy from a few years ago.
Yeah, it's
with the ugly Sonic.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
But it's so good. But I recommend it. But like, even if you don't really remember the cartoon or didn't watch it, it's fine. There's so many inside jokes to Disney and popular culture, and it's incredible. I loved it. I was like so giddy on Saturday night. I was just like this is the type of movie that should have had an audience in a theater, because it would have been like amazing.
So at the end of the year, when Patrick does his next Oscar one, are you going to be throwing that movie out?
Best picture, Mutford. Best picture. Like every category. But no, I don't know if it's like going that far, but it's like, it's nice to see like a live action animated movie that's not horseshit like Space Jam 2, right, which was the worst. Like, that was among the worst things I watched in a long time. Like, oh my God, like that's a whole nother story. But Chip and Dale It's everything.
All right.
Actually, it pretty much is, but it was really good.
John, do you have a recent movie that caught your attention?
Last one I'll do, I guess, is a documentary on
Please.
that was on Netflix called Trust No One: The Hunt for a Crypto King. And I'm not a big, I don't understand Bitcoin, and I don't give a shit about Bitcoin. So I didn't think I was going to be interested in this movie, but it's more on. Are you familiar with the story?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a Canadian guy who started a company called Quadriga CX, which is supposed to be a way to invest for Bitcoin, who mysteriously died at the age of 30, and nobody was able to get their money that they invested back because he died with the passwords, which just seems so bizarre that one person would hold all the passwords, right? So there's all these conspiracy theories about what really happened, and just they focus a lot on the characters who invested their money in this upstart company, and it was interesting. I will say, don't go into it looking for an answer. And some of Netflix documentaries are frustrating in that way because they seem to want to get the documentary out ASAP before the story's finished.
Yes.
You know, so that story sort of ends with a giant question mark, but it's still a fascinating look for an hour.
Okay, so I got two quick recommendations. I have Jackass Forever. I don't think it is on Netflix, but Jackass 4.5 is. And Jackass Forever is good, but not as good as the previous Jackasses if you're into that sort of thing. And I enjoyed Jackass Forever, but not as much as the previous one.
It did just come out on streaming. I was just looking to find out which service.
Paramount Plus.
Well,
because
we don't have that. It's on one of the ones that we have. And
what does Canada have?
Yeah, I think you can get Paramount Plus.
Free health care. That's what.
I think you can get Paramount Plus in Canada, Nick. I personally just don't have that one.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just.
But we can get Jackass, and my wife mentioned this to me. She wants to see it, and it's one of these movies where I know I'll watch it and I'll laugh like a freaking goon the entire time, but I still can't get up the interest to watch it yet. But like I say, I know when I do, I'll enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It seems like a blast.
It is a lot of fun. Yeah, but like maybe I'm getting old and senile or something, but I didn't enjoy that much as the previous versions.
Oh, yeah?
But I don't know if it's me or whatever, but no, yeah, it's good,
It's not you, it's me, Jackass.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing I would mention, I saw the Batman.
Oh, I did see
Matt
this one
Reeves.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Okay, so I think I mentioned it on Name That Tune. I had to, make it short, but what I said was there is an exceptional 2-hour movie out of that, but it's 3 hour and change.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's good, but it could have been exceptional.
I think that's fairly accurate, actually. Yeah, it was too damn long. But it was good. I'm not a big Batman guy anyway, so I didn't have high expectations, but I did enjoy it, but 3 hours was too much. Yeah.
I mean, that just seems, that was a turnoff for me, honestly, to want to see it in theaters, and even it's on HBO Max, but it's like, yeah, it's like who directed it? Zack Snyder, like
Matt Reeves.
Those DC, those like DC movies that are 4, 5, 8 hours.
Yeah, it's a good shout. It could have been Zack Snyder. It would have made sense, but I think it was Matt Reeves who directed that one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And there were certain characters in there where I felt just completely unneeded, and they ended up wasting the time. And I feel bad saying that Colin Farrell as a Penguin was one of them, because he did an amazing job as a Penguin, but his whole plot was unnecessary. Yeah. So they should have just saved him for another movie.
And I don't think I like the 2 villain thing. Why not focus on one villain for one movie? Like make it a trim 90-minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, boom. Yeah. And likewise, Catwoman, she could have been cut.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was fine. She was fine, but
yeah.
as you say, not
yeah,
needed.
And that's it. It's not an insult to Zoe Kravitz. She was fine, but if you had Batman and the Riddler, the movie would have been shorter and would have been just as intact. And yeah,
absolutely. Nick, what do you have?
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, 3.5 hours of the Batman, which I don't know why is it called the Batman. Like, it kind of makes it seem like an old person say like the
right.
like it's not just Batman, it's the Batman.
Wasn't it a comic book thing?
The Batman.
Oh, was it?
I mean, I don't know. I know nothing about comic book Batman, but I thought it was.
I've read them. I don't recall them ever saying the, but maybe they didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just seems very unnatural to say, like, I'm going to see the Batman.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you remember in Batman Begins, Cillian Murphy says that.
Right.
I'm the Batman.
Like, you know, they're gonna be attacked and they say, who is it? Like, the Batman.
Yeah.
So I've always figured it was like a comic book thing.
I can't wait for the Spider-Man.
The Superman.
It just seems so...
Patrick is so tired of the Spider-Man.
The Iron Man. Now they're just going to, like, recycle movie titles just
with the in front of it. The Jaws.
They're just looking for reasons to do it. You know?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So, okay. So I guess that's all we have for now, or yeah.
Sounds good.
All good.
Yeah, that's all I have.
All right. Okay. So let's wrap it up. John, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Book Mindset. That's BOOKMINESET.
Awesome. Nick, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter at Nick D. Bambach. And if you want to follow my podcast, Rock in Retrospect, which Mutford has been a guest on a few times, you can follow that at Rock in Retropod.
Rock in Retropod.
Rock in Retrospect. I'm sorry. Get my podcast right. Rock in Retrospect. Oh my God, that is the podcast.
Get the name of your own show right, Nick.
God damn it, Nick.
Okay, God damn it, Nick. Come on.
Oh my God. Rock in Retrospect is the podcast. I almost did Rock and Retrospect, ironically, but I was thinking of the name of the show, but did it sound natural? So that's why I went with him.
Okay, so what is the actual handle? Just that we make it, just get it right.
Rock and Retropod.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and we will talk to you again on the next one. Thanks.